I Saw the Glow is a deeply unsettling, emotional exploration of identity, trauma, and the blurred lines between reality and fiction. In this analysis, we'll break down the movie's themes, characters, and what its haunting ending really means. I Saw the Glow tells a story about how people use escape to deal with their problems. For Owen and Maddy, the Pink Opaque is their safe place, their connection, and a way to cope with their difficult lives. Owen feels lost in his real life. His mom is sick, his dad is distant, and he struggles with his own insecurities. Watching the Pink Opaque gives him something he can control in a world where everything feels out of control. In the show, good and bad are simple. The heroes fight back, and their struggles mean something. This is very different from Owen's messy and uncertain life. Watching the show with Maddy gives Owen a sense of connection. It's one of the few times he feels safe and understood. The light of the TV screen gives him hope. It's a reminder that even in dark times, there's something brighter out there. For Maddy, the Pink Opaque isn't just a way to escape. It's a way to survive. She lives in a home filled with fear because of her abusive stepfather. The show becomes the one thing in her life that feels safe and meaningful. The show feels more real to Maddy than her actual life. Its characters and stories give her a sense of belonging that her real life doesn't. Maddy connects deeply with Tara, one of the show's characters. Like Tara, Maddy feels trapped but refuses to give up. The show inspires Maddy to dream of leaving her abusive home. It fuels her determination to escape. Owen and Maddy bond over the Pink Opaque. It's their safe space where they can forget their problems and just be themselves. Watching the show together creates a special bond between them. It's their way of escaping the pain of real life. But when their real lives take darker turns, the Pink Opaque becomes more than a coping mechanism. It becomes an obsession. When Maddy decides to run away, their connection starts to break. Maddy wants to leave everything behind, but Owen isn't ready to let go of the only stability he has. The second act of I Saw the Glow focuses on the thin line between what's real and what isn't. Everything changes when Maddy comes back and tells Owen that she has been living inside the Pink Opaque for the last 8 years as one of the characters, Tara. Her claim makes Owen question everything he knows about his life and their past. Maddy's belief that they are characters from the Pink Opaque shows how she struggles to deal with her past. Maddy says the Midnight Realm, the villain's fake world in the show, is actually the reality they're living in. This idea shows how much pain she has from her abusive childhood and her choice to run away. Instead of dealing with that pain, she creates a story where she's part of something bigger. For Maddy, seeing her life as part of a larger story makes it easier to handle. In her mind, she's not just a runaway with a troubled past. She's a hero trapped by a villain. This gives her life meaning and control that she doesn't have in the real world. Maddy doesn't just want Owen to listen. She wants him to believe her. She needs him to agree with her version of reality to make it feel real. Owen has a hard time dealing with Maddy's return and her strange claims. It forces him to face his guilt and makes him question what's real. When Maddy asks Owen to watch the final episode again, it brings up a lot of emotions. The episode's story, where characters are buried alive and trapped in the Midnight Realm, feels too similar to Maddy's story. This makes him start to doubt his own understanding of the world. Owen feels guilty for not running away with Maddy when she asked him to. Seeing her again reminds him of how he failed her and everything he couldn't fix. Her story makes him feel like he's being pulled into her pain. When Owen tries to smash his head into the TV, it shows how broken he feels. The TV represents both his love for the show and his fear that he's losing his mind. It blurs the line between the safety he felt as a kid and the harshness of his current life. The movie uses Maddy's story and Owen's reaction to explore one big question. How do we know what's real? For Maddy, her real life was so painful that the Pink Opaque feels more real. The world of heroes and villains is easier for her to handle than the chaos of her past. Owen wants to believe Maddy because he cares about her, but doing so would mean giving up on everything he thought was true. The Midnight Realm, where time and reality are twisted, represents the trauma and pain they both feel. Maddy and Owen are trapped in their own versions of it. unable to move on or find peace. Maddy's insistence that Owen join her in escaping by being buried alive mirrors her earlier desperation to leave her abusive home. The burial is both literal and metaphorical. It represents their desire to bury their pain, their past, and their current identities. In refusing Maddy's plan, Owen shows a glimmer of self-preservation, but it's also a rejection of her reality. This moment fractures their bond, leaving him haunted by what could have been. Her disappearance cements her as a tragic figure, a person who may have been consumed by her need to escape. Years later, Owen's life continues to spiral. When he revisits the Pink Opaque on a streaming service, it feels hollow and childish. As Owen grows older, he finds himself stuck in memories of the past. The Pink Opaque, a show that once brought him comfort and joy, no longer feels special. Watching it again as an adult becomes a painful moment of realization. It wasn't the magical escape he thought it was. For Owen, memories of the past don't bring peace. They make him feel even more stuck. Owen hasn't moved on with his life. He's still working a boring job and struggling with the pain of losing his mom and Maddy. Holding on to the past keeps him from finding a way forward. Watching the show again makes Owen feel far away from the person he used to be. The show no longer feels meaningful, and this reminds him of how much he has changed. While memories of the past can sometimes feel comforting, they can also highlight how much life has changed. For Owen, revisiting the show only makes him feel emptier because it doesn't have the same magic anymore. The emptiness he feels while watching the show mirrors the emptiness he feels in his own life. By clinging to the past, Owen has kept himself stuck in a loop where nothing feels real or satisfying anymore. The ending of I Saw the Glow is emotional and unsettling. When Owen cuts himself open and finds a TV screen inside, it's a shocking moment that says a lot about his feelings and struggles. It shows how much he wants to leave his painful life behind and escape into the fantasy world of the Pink Opaque. Like Maddy, Owen feels trapped by his real life. His losses, loneliness, and pain have made him believe that escaping into the world of the Pink Opaque is the only way to find peace. The screen in his chest symbolizes how much the show has shaped him. It's become a part of who he is, representing his wish to live in a world that feels simpler and more comforting. The glow of the screen reminds Owen of a time when life seemed easier. Even though it's not real, it gives him hope in a way that nothing else does. Owen's smile when he sees the screen shows that he's given up on trying to fight. He no longer tries to fix his real life, and instead chooses to live in the comforting glow of the TV. Like Maddy, Owen gets caught in a cycle of running away from his problems. Instead of facing them, he gives in to the idea that the glow is his only source of happiness. His decision isn't a happy one, it's a sad surrender. Rather than moving forward, Owen accepts a life built on illusion. I Saw the Glow is a tragic, thought-provoking exploration of how we cope with pain and loss. It asks difficult questions. When does escapism stop being healthy? How much of our identity is tied to the stories we love? And can we ever truly escape the things that haunt us? The film doesn't offer easy answers. Instead, it leaves us with the unsettling truth that sometimes the glow of nostalgia can blind us to reality, and the only way forward is to face our pain, even when it feels impossible. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.